Japan, 16th century. A land shattered by war. The shogunate crumbles, warlords rise and fall, and blood soaks the soil from Kyoto to the farthest provinces. But from this chaos, one man would emerge. A man dismissed as a fool, a reckless upstart, who would change the destiny of Japan. His name? Oda Nobunaga. This is the story of his impossible rise. From disgraced heir, the fool of Owari, to the victory in an impossible battle against hopeless odds. The Demon King's rise begins now. Born in 1534, Nobunaga was the son of Oda Nobuhide, a minor warlord in Owari province, but from the beginning he was different. At 12 years old, the Oda clan, retainers and emissaries from other clans, including the mighty Imagawa, gathered for Nobunaga's coming-of-age ceremony and appointment as formal heir to the clan. They gathered and waited for hours. Nobunaga arrived late, half-dressed, and eating a rice cake. As his elders presented him with gifts, he tossed them to the servants. They gave speeches as he laughed, a waste of time of his time. While the sons of other daimyo studied poetry and etiquette, Nobunaga became even wilder. He ran barefoot through the fields, dressed in rags, and surrounded himself with commoners. He drank in lowly taverns, consorted with musicians and actors, and visited brothels. He ignored tradition and mocked courtly etiquette. His own family called him Owari no Outsuk, the fool of Owari. The opposition inside the Oda clan grew to the young heir. But was he a fool? A madman? Or was he playing a game no one else understood? In 1551, his father Oda Nobuhide died unexpectedly. Murdered by his enemies? Stricken down by an illness? The cause of his death has been lost to history, but the 17-year-old Nobunaga, his father's chosen heir, was now lord of the Oda clan, and Nobunaga's true nature erupted for all to see. While the clan expected solemn grief, Nobunaga stormed in, threw ceremonial incense at the altar, and left without a word. To his family and retainers, it was sacrilege. To him, perhaps a declaration. He would not bow to tradition. Or perhaps he saw it as a waste of his time. His father was dead. There were battles ahead. Even his mentor, Hirate Masahide, was horrified. In despair, he committed suicide, a final plea for Nobunaga to change. But Nobunaga would chart his own path. Tradition be damned. Nobunaga was the eldest legitimate son of his father and chosen heir to rule the clan. But he had older illegitimate brothers, scheming uncles and disgruntled retainers. And now, the wolves circled. His uncle, Nobutomo, seized Nagoya Castle. His own brother Nobuyuki plotted to replace him. The fool of Owari seemed doomed, until he struck first. His own household retainers raised an army for his brother, and against him. They met at the Battle of Ino in 1556. Nobunaga was victorious, but his mother begged for mercy for his brother and his men, and Nobunaga agreed. It was a mistake, one he would not make again. His uncle, Oda Nobutomo, had seized Nagoya Castle, but he was not strong enough to hold it. His allies abandoned him as Nobunaga's army approached. Nobunaga then stormed the castle and ordered Nobutomo to perform seppuku. His brother Nobuyuki plotted against him again, and this time there would be no mercy. Nobunaga feigned sickness and promised to make his brother the heir. As Nobuyuki and his retainers came to visit their dying lord, Nobunaga had them executed in the castle courtyard. There would be no dignity of a seppuku for the treacherous Nobuyuki or his men. His brother was executed like a common criminal. One betrayal Nobunaga had forgiven for the mother that had borne them both. There would not be another. Nobunaga had crushed his rivals. His uncle dead, his brother executed, and their supporters dead with them or fled for their lives. The fool had fangs, and now the Oda clan and the province of Owari was his, and his alone. It was merely the beginning, but a far greater threat loomed on the horizon. The mighty Imagawa Yoshimoto, with an army of 25,000 men, marching straight for Nobunaga's throat. Retainers that Nobunaga thought loyal had defected to Imagawa and revealed the secrets of the Oda and their weakness. (1560). Imagawa Yoshimoto, the most powerful warlord in the east, marched toward Kyoto with dreams of establishing a new shogunate, and only Owari and Nobunaga stood in his way. He called a war council. Would the Oda fight or throw themselves at the mercy of one of the great daimyo? Nobunaga listened to his retainers and family argue and debate fleeing or surrender. Then he laughed. Nobunaga would never surrender and never flee. There was only one path: battle, victory or death. While Nobunaga saw only victory, the Oda clan prepared themselves for one final doomed battle. 3,000 Oda retainers would face 25,000 men sworn to Imagawa. There could be only one outcome: death. Nobunaga went to the Atsuta shrine. Legends say he prayed for divine favor. But Nobunaga did not beg. He demanded, and the heavens answered, with a storm to carry him to victory or hell. None could know. As the Imagawa overran border castles and celebrated their early victories, Nobunaga prepared his trap. The road to Kyoto in Owari ran through a narrow valley, and Imagawa had set camp here. This is where Nobunaga would strike. As the divine storm concealed his weakness, he ordered his men to attack. What madman, what fool would send 3,000 against 25,000? As Imagawa army drank and tried to stay dry, Nobunaga's men crept through the torrential rain. The storm masked their movements. Nobunaga's samurai charged from the trees. The Imagawa, drunk and unprepared, fell into panic. Imagawa Yoshimoto stepped out his tent and met an Oda blade. In minutes, the mighty Imagawa army had shattered. In the chaos and confusion, his men fled in every direction, and the Oda hunted them across the countryside. Yoshimoto was dead, and his army gone. Imagawa power, one of the great clans of the Japan, had been destroyed in an afternoon. Nobunaga had done the impossible, and no one would call him a fool again. Okehazama made Nobunaga a legend. The fool of Owari was now the Demon King, and Japan would never be the same. His road would be bloody, his enemies countless. But on this day, at the Battle of Okehazama, Oda Nobunaga proved the greatest fools are often the most dangerous men of all. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and follow us for more stories from Japan's epic history of warriors and warlords.